Hello, this is Rebecca, Stormy, and Kristen presenting Gentrification and Encroachment in the Carver-Stevenson neighborhoods. Abilene itself has a population of approximately 120,000. As you can see from the second picture, the location chosen for this project is a small section of city blocks in Abilene, Texas. The boundaries of the neighborhoods studied were North 6th Street to North 18th Street and Pine Street to Treadway Boulevard, as well as 3 square blocks around the Stevenson Park. These neighborhoods were a haven for many African American citizens in Abilene when it was first developed in the 1940s. According to the 2020 census, 48% of the population are above the age of 60. People of color make over half of the demographic, 58% African American, 23% Hispanic, 18% white, Asian, Native American, and other, and many fall into the low-income household category. Most members of the community are low-income earners, averaging around $25,000 a year in earnings. There is a disproportionate amount of condemned or vacant lots in the Carver-Stevenson neighborhoods. Some figures estimate that as much as 50% of the homes in the area are vacant.
What you're seeing here is just a drive-by of the neighborhood where you can see a lot of the vacant lots. As far as the factors and roots, an organization called Interested Citizens of Abilene North, ICANN, had efforts in the 1990s to try to reduce the drug use in their neighborhood. And they got together and decided to tear down a lot of the dilapidated houses that were in their neighborhood that were activity centers for drugs. And they were successful. They were able to reclaim their neighborhood. However, there was unintended consequences such as vacant lots and lack of curb appeal to the average home buyer. Another factor that's made it difficult is the neighborhood's prime location near a local university and hospital. The communities are within walking distance of many businesses in downtown Abilene, which is currently in the process of being revitalized. Another route, or third route, is that the cost of housing in Abilene. According to information from the Texas A&M Real Estate Research Center, the average home price in Abilene has risen over $55,000 in the last 3 years. One of the biggest strengths in the community is that people are starting to get involved. Over the course of the last few years, organizations have begun popping up that are committed to making changes in the neighborhood. ICANN has been purchasing vacant lots with the hope of future sustainable development. Another strength involves the involvement of the City Council, which has created empowerment zones that offer economic development incentives aimed at remodeling and or new construction of affordable housing options. And lastly, the residents themselves are a big strength. They're a diverse group of people, specifically Latino and African American. These groups of people have come together to clean up and protect their neighborhoods, building a strong and tight-knit community.
Assessing HSOs in the area. There are 2 HSOs that we focused on, the Abilene Housing Authority and the Goodwill Housing Stabilization Program. Both are beneficial to the community residing in the Carver and Stevenson neighborhoods because they provide financial assistance and help in employment search and opportunities. So, for example, the Goodwill has a Work Again West Texas program, and what they do is they employ homeless citizens. They give them a job, and their job is to help to clean up the city, which is a win-win for everyone. They also provide assistance with rental, pet, and utility deposits. The Abilene Housing Authority provides assistance with rent and subsidized housing for older adults, which is fantastic because the majority of our population is unemployed and over the age of 60. Advocacy. There are 4 advocacy interventions that we have developed and come up with. So grassroots and grass top are very similar. However, there is a big difference. So grassroots would be programs, organizations such as the Interested Citizens of Abilene North and Let Us Breathe. In these programs, the citizens empower themselves to petition and advocate for themselves for better standards of living. They band together, they buy empty lots that other outside businesses will not, so that stop encroachment and improve the curb appeal of their neighborhoods. Grass top advocacy is actually getting the legislation involved and lobbying. So these citizens will find not only more people, but the right people to get on board with their idea and enact a change effort. And the citizens of the neighborhoods will be actively in lobbying and getting involved in local legislation to create changes to stop gentrification and encroachment. Not only are the residents active in petitioning, but they're active in lobbying for change. So they will be sitting in at town hall meetings and city council meetings. A community outreach program could provide education on gentrification to the community, offering information on positives and negatives of the situation, then allowing individuals an opportunity to increase their involvement in the beautification of Abilene by cleaning up neighborhoods and hosting different events that bring donations to these neighborhoods for beautification. An educational intervention that could be brought up would be to get more involved in the school system. So by increasing the trades that are learned by students in the local schools in the area, for example, carpentry and welding, building, electrician, increasing trades and actually giving these students an opportunity to work towards like a journeyman license while they were in high school, let's say their junior and senior year. They can work for credits for a technical college, and they can do it in their neighborhoods. So in conclusion, our study has really seen that gentrification has made it difficult for residents to remain in their homes. And gentrification, along with inflation, has caused the housing market in the area to increase drastically. The sharp climb has made it difficult for many individuals to remain and is slowly pushing out the original residents of the neighborhood. Current human service organizations are attempting to assist with this burden, but are not addressing the real underlying problem. They're simply addressing, the homelessness and rent issues. They're not addressing the original homeowners and the property tax issues. And land speculation by competing organizations like the hospitals and the schools in the area. So in declining areas, Rybeck explains that land speculation causes vacancy, leading to disinvestment and an inadequate supply of affordable and residential buildings, which is what we see in the Stevenson-Carver neighborhoods. We would like to reverse this and lead it to redevelopment of neighborhoods and have the land appreciate in value due to new commercial and residential demand. So the solution would be to increase land value in the area through the various advocacy interventions that we have discussed. And stabilizing the economy to avoid a boom-bust cycle.